morning, everybody. We're here with ColdBlood. We got a few of the officers here this morning with us. We're going to start a guild interview with them today. And I just want to talk a minute about what we're doing in the channel. So the channel is basically what we're trying to do with these interviews is create a library for new players when they come to the game. They can look through the library of guilds and try to pick something that is close to what they want to do in the game and who they relate to. For personality wise and maybe PvE based more, PvP based, content or role playing, all that kind of thing. So we're gonna get to the meat and the bones here real quick of that with ColdBlood, and we have a couple of the officers here with us to answer questions and talk about what their guild and what they're trying to accomplish in the game. And we'll go from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take questions at the end, and we'll do them in kind of a question format directed towards the guild. So don't ask questions for me, because we won't be taking questions about me or Manik today. We'll go from there, and I just want to introduce Manik and let you guys know that she does a lot for this channel. She does all the technical stuff and keeps me sorted out, does all the editing for the videos, and just a big shout out to her. So I'm going to introduce Rash, and he's going to take it from here.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Rash. I am part of ColdBlood, and in ColdBlood we are several members that are just trying out the game, but more than just trying out. Like, we know we want to get pretty deep into the game, but for the most of us, I believe I can say that we aren't MO1 players, or we haven't dabbled too deep into it. So it's really nice, and it's a fresh new MMO experience for the majority of us, and we're really enjoying it as a group, exploring and all that. We've been working a lot as well with different combinations of materials. So like the whole exploration of the crafting and group events to get the materials for it is like a very nice social event that we always strive to achieve.
Okay, so Piro, you can introduce yourself and maybe touch base a little bit of what you do for the guild as well.
Yeah. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Piro, of course, in-game name. I come from Serbia. Basically, our guild, even though it's called ColdBlood, it's not really a red guild. It's actually a blue guild, which is kind of funny in my opinion. But basically, we are a bunch of guys having fun, doing stuff together, raids, dungeons, exploring, gathering some materials. As for recruitment, usually me and one other of our members, Fundolf, is recruiting people. There are also some more, but it's mostly us. We usually stick around. At the beginning, we sticked around Fabrinum a lot, but in the recent events from the attacks from, let's say, some guilds, we all know who it is, we started to move around the map so we can, farm things safely. But generally, yeah, we are there.
Perfect. So right now, what city are you guys hanging out in?
At the moment, we are on the move, basically. We were in Fabrinum, then we went to Tindrem for materials, then we went all around the map to MK, and basically, yeah, we are doing a route for now. It's basically exploration for fun, It's nothing special.
So MK. So you guys are at MK right now, then?
Yeah, but not all of us.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys do a lot of group stuff out of there when you guys go. Are you going there for just the materials? Then you mean?
Not really. We are, people get bored because there's no new content, so we decide we held some events, and those events are usually either raiding, some adventuring, maybe hunting, in some case taming. It's all part of the same thing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
go ahead, Rash.
Yeah, we seem to really enjoy just spending time together. Is mostly what we're aiming to keep ourselves entertained with. So it's right now, like whenever someone needs anything, or we feel like the guild might be running out of a certain material or something like that, right? Like we have different ambitions that we set for ourselves, as well as the guild, and yeah, we just all like work together. It's more of a in an organic fashion.
Yeah.
We do plan events, but you know, a lot of the quote unquote events that we end up undertaking are just spur of the moment kind of thing, who's online and who wants to join, and it's a very casual, friendly kind of progress, rather than like, you know, very scheduled and determined kind of progress. So, and it's fun. It's like where, you know, we go on adventures and joke and all that stuff. So very social kind of interaction based progression in the guild so far.
Pyro, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, the organization, like from the guild side. The thing is, like usually when we are recruiting, we say how it works. Like our guild is like a social system, let's say, where anyone can join as long as he's not on the bad list, the naughty list. and when he does, like he has access to everything, like all the gear, all the weapons, everything, as long as he, you know, wants to play with us, be, you know, social. And occasionally, if he's not lazy, he can mine a bit, but that's it. We don't ask anything from people who join.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's fair enough, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So in the game right now, then, have you guys forged any alliances?
The thing is, like, we did some voting, but in the end, it was like in favor of not doing so, because at the moment we are mostly like a new guild, and we, you know, want to be our own. Rash, you can say more about this thing, because I think you're the one who initiated the voting.
That's right. So, in regards to alliances and such, the way that ColdBlood wants to pursue its alliances is much more at a level of, well, first off, let me talk about the leadership of the guild, because
Sure.
that definitely plays into perspective. So,
All right.
the main thing here is that we are all pretty much at a same level, all of the original founders of this guild. And there's quite a few of us. So we try to ensure that there's always a democratic type of vote, which very often ends up being a stark majority in one direction. And
So
the
you're
way that we
talking kind
achieve
of
this,
like the pirate vote, where everybody has everybody's vote is equal, then, right? They call it a pirate vote, I guess.
I would definitely say so. Yes,
Yeah,
that
that's
and
good.
that's within like the original members, right? Of course, and I would say that pretty safely. Even the more you implicate yourself in the guild, like if you're a new member and you
Yeah,
participate in all that stuff, then it wouldn't take too long before you reach that kind of level either, because we're very like um, those who are part of the original group, let's say, are evidently wanting the best for the guild in a sense, right?
yes,
So the way that we make our decisions is through discussion. So it's not just like, okay, place your votes. You have like and 1 hour or whatever. No, sometimes that could last for several days because we're discussing and we're sharing our opinions, and we want to make sure we all understand each other quite well. And so far, there's been like excellent debates. You know, no arguments, no people trying to prove their point to a way that wasn't like civilized, let's say, right?
yeah,
So it's really good. It's a very nice process, which of course when we were invited to join an alliance, we all got to, okay, let's discuss about this. We understand what the main idea behind joining an alliance was at the time, but what would be the consequences of joining said alliance? How would it be perceived, and so on? So we wanted to make sure that we maintained our cold blood image.
yes,
That this idea of we are here to help, and that's our intention. We want to make sure that if people need any type of help defending a city or anything like that, then that's part of our PvP ideas. We want to support whatever is being attacked, but at the same time, we don't want to be giving this impression of like a mercenary guild where we can fight for whichever side would pay a more handsome price. So when Pyro said we are quite the blue guild and not a red guild, that's where that statement would apply. So we have this moral code in a sense, right? We have this ethical standpoint that we make our decisions based on. This idea of like, do we appear as bad guys if we make this decision and go on with either defending this group of people who might have a really bad reputation or things like this, right? So when it came to that alliance, did you want to know who that alliance was with?
Yeah, you can touch on
If
it a
you're
little
curious.
bit. Like most people, like in the game, they know that they need alliances somewhere down the road, especially when you start getting into building keeps and you want to carve out a chunk of property for your guild, right? So alliances become massive at that point in this game to help defend each other, right? And you did touch on that a little bit, but if you want to go a little bit more into that, I'm sure the chat would love to hear that.
So when it comes to alliances, right? There's the thing that we were at first, wishing to achieve is Fabrinum was constantly being bombarded by PKers, and we wanted to, definitely help with that happening less and less. Just working with the other guilds that are present in Fab when there was a leader of a guild that stated they want to start making alliances with the guilds of Fab to protect Fab.
Yes.
So, although it was definitely a very positive intent that was driving this alliance, it seemed like the alliance itself was, if you were to take it in a more hardcore sense of diplomacy and all that stuff, it was founded on really weak principles, and the leadership, quote unquote, of this alliance seemed to be questionable as well. So there were a number of aspects related to the whole concept of an alliance that threw us off. But initially, at the very beginning, the idea, the promise that it provides, right? What is this idea of like, yes, we should all work together? And that is a beautiful idea. It was
Yeah.
just not executed in the best of fashions that would be, correlating with our interests in the long run.
Exactly.
So that's why we kind of backed away from this idea of joining said alliance, right? Which
Now,
I think never really happened in the end. So
yeah. Now, do you think if say they come in, they bring something into the game where you could sign up to be a protector of the town itself? You know what I mean? Like you could. It's almost like you're kind of a mercenary to help the town. So if the town comes under attack, that when you're associated with the town, that you guys would that be a better way to go at it? Do you think? Like instead of trying to form a group of people, because right now it's just crazy. Faberdin's just a slaughterhouse, right? Before they patched it. Do you think maybe being a protector of a town would be a better idea for the game itself?
that's an interesting mechanic. I'll let Pyro actually talk a bit.
I think that would be actually really good because the moment you sign that treaty or whatever it is, you can like assure your position in the town, and everything you do will have consequences. So you cannot like be a griefer like some Fabrenum guilds. Let's not speak which ones. We all know.
Yeah.
So you can actually help the town in a way that you cannot use the bugs or the glitches that some guilds are using in their advantage at the moment.
Yeah.
I think that would be great, and also other guilds would know your exact intentions with Fabrenum, and its people and its horses.
Yeah, yeah, and I think if they could implement something like that, like they may, I've heard people whispering about it before, and maybe it would be a good thing. Like Coda would be the defenders of Madudu, right? That's their home place, and they're gonna. If there was something like that where they could sign up and they could help the guards in town and kind of thing, like then towns wouldn't get overrun either, right? Because it does happen.
The thing is, the guards in the game, they are like they fixed them a bit. They can shoot people on the roofs. That's good. But the thing is, like, I see people like peeking behind the corners, shooting a guard, peeking back, and the guard just does nothing. Like, he cannot do anything. Like, he aims, then stops, and they easily kill them. I even saw what's the name again? Yeah, it's what's the guild name? Quad. They like picked a few guards, not sure how much. I think it's the regular ones, 2 or 3, I can't remember. They lured them outside Fabernum, and they like poked one until he was like aggro, disaggro, and then they killed him. I tried to heal him, and some other people also tried to heal him, but no, it's like impossible.
But this is the game mechanic right now, right? Like that, a lot of that stuff will get fixed. You'll never get rid of it. People will always find out how to bug the guards out and whatnot. So, like I said, it is just the game mechanic right now, and you these guys are like Quad does their thing. They're looking for fights. That's what they go to do. So they find out the game mechanics and they're using it to their advantage. So
that's right.
Yeah, in my opinion, the thing that would probably fix this, it will sound a little stupid, but if the guards could just shoot through the walls, that would be good.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They can't. Everything has to be LOS, right? Everything has to be that. Like it wouldn't be fair.
So hard.
Yeah, they'll sort it out eventually. Like the game just needs to progress and be polished a bit more on that side.
Right.
Like I don't. I think it will get all sorted out in the end, or it's just positioning of guards. Like eventually, maybe they'll put up guard towers. Where the guards are in the towers, actually shooting arrows out all the time.
Yeah,
it'll be something. They'll fix it out, and you can never blame the guild. Like Quad's looking for fights. That's all they're trying to do. So that's what they're doing, and they're figuring it out. And it's the game mechanic they've been given, so that's what they're using. So it's hard to do that. I want to go back to when you guys were talking about your code. Now, do you guys have anything written up for the code? If you want to just touch on that a bit, there, go ahead.
I mean, in general, like the only rule of like, let's see, the PvP code is like we don't touch anyone unless they already killed one of our for no reason. Like that's basically it.
Okay.
So I'm getting a little vibe of your Tendrum Empire interview. Is that it? Is that what you're trying to?
I'm
just curious. I'm just curious.
No,
everybody kind of has a set of rules, I just want to hear them.
I do think that this code that they have for TE is really nice. Like, I do like that concept a lot. So I don't know. Maybe we might put into practice this concept one day.
Yeah. Well, it's just when somebody joins because it is such a clear cut and decisive set of rules that it's almost black and white. But never be perfect, obviously, but when a guy comes to your guild and he wants to know, and you just here's what we have in the forums, here's what we're about, here's the video, boom, done. It's like a package deal then kind of thing, right? So we're going to touch on griefer guilds. So we did this last week too on the other one. So we want to know what your top, I guess, 3 griefer guilds are that you guys think are hardcore at it right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. We have that list already. Like.
Everybody loves this. There's so much good feedback.
Number one, it's hard to determine number one, but I think I will go with the gutter snipes because they are just they don't look for fights as much as they like to kill horses, especially at the stable area. That's really interesting.
That is crazy, eh? Yeah.
For that reason, I will put them at number one. Number 2 is Fabrino Mafia because they are more like the same, just they are looking for fights, not specifically killing horses.
Yeah.
And the third, either, I don't know Laughing Coffins that much, so I'm not really sure. But either them or Quad, I'm not sure which one.
What's the other one? Laughing Coffin?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I have to look into them. I've never even heard that yet. So, and quad.
Yeah, I don't see
You
them that
wanna-
much. That's why I'm not sure if they're really that much of a griefer guild. But yeah, I
Okay.
seen them kill people like at the graveyard for no reason before.
Well, yeah, you can get up, especially at Madudu, where you can stand up on the rocks and bow people down from the back part of
So either them or quad. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah. Rash, did you want to add to that? You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I can add that when I saw someone with the name Laughing Coffin under
Yeah.
their name as a guild, I knew right away what they were doing. I'm pretty sure that's inspired from Sword Art Online, which is
Oh,
the
really?
the show, yeah, where you got all these groups of reds that just go on and kill people for fun. So yeah, as soon as you
Kinda
see
like
that guild name, you're like, oh yeah, I see what you're doing there. Yeah, I know
cool.
what you're all about.
Yeah, well, I guess the name's kind of self-explanatory. If anybody from Laughing Coffin in chat there, hit up my Nick so we can talk to you guys. Or so, what did I have here? Oh, did you guys? Either of you guys play, or anybody in your guild play UO or still plays Ultima Online, the original?
Mortal One.
Ultima Online.
Ultima, no.
Yeah.
I the closest thing that I've ever played to that would be a game called Tibia. I don't know if anybody has heard of that, but this
No.
is the first MMO I've ever played, and it
Oh.
was just for a few months, to be honest. It was a
Yeah.
nice summer though, and that got replaced with like World of Warcraft when that came out,
Oh gosh.
which I played for a few months again. So I'll just put it out there pretty quick. I'm not much of like a gamer. I do enjoy games, but I'm like
Yeah.
not an intense gamer. And the what's getting me really hooked to Mortal Online 2 is the alchemy. To be straightforward,
Do your alchemy
I'm
voice.
I'm very much into. Oh, do my alchemy? No, not right now. But so I love the role playing potential of this game, and
Oh yeah.
in real life, I'm a person who just loved doing research. I'm an academic. I've been in university
Yeah.
doing like courses and research for the past what almost 20 years now. So
Jeez.
so I'm really into like this whole aspect of like looking deep into things, and this game has crafting that's almost done like a pseudoscience in a sense, right? Like it's a virtual science where you
Yeah.
experiment, you try many different things, you record your findings, and you try to find that sweet spot. When it comes to like this experimentation. So I love that aspect of the game, and I kind of want to be like uh, an NPC in a sense,
Yeah.
right? Where like I'm pretty much going to be in town for most of the time. I'm not really one to combat, but also when it comes to Cold Blood, I want to play the role of a diplomat in a sense.
Okay.
So that's another aspect of Cold Blood. As a guild, we don't just take big decisions when it comes to dealing with other factions or other guilds. We won't just like throw ourselves in and tarnish our name or reputation. We really
Mm-hmm.
like to take time to consider different things. And
All right.
yeah, I like to
I have
incite this with players as well. Like think about it in a sense, right?
I have something that I'm going to drop in the chat here for everybody, and you guys will be all blown away by these people. They are not a guild; they're an organization that does alchemy in the game.
Oh, sick.
They're the only ones that are doing it right now, and we're gonna touch on them later. But I put the link in there for everybody. You can go and actually join their Discord server just for now. Well, maybe we should touch a little bit on crafting in your guild and how you have it set up and what you think your goals are. Like when you bring somebody new into the game and they say, okay, I wanna do this part, and then you guys are gonna have officers that kind of look after each part, break it up or whatever. If you guys want to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I could do that. Like it usually goes like we have on our Discord channel, we have like a lot of under channels, let's call it like that. So each one of them is for different things, and we have like one for professions. for example. And when somebody joins, if he wants, he can do some profession he likes. Doesn't matter which, it's fine. But people who don't want to do professions, like usually if they ask us like what can we do for the guild or something like that, we just tell them you can get that material on that material, and that material they get, let's say it's mining, it usually goes first to the Ogmir extractors, for example my character. Then when I'm finished extracting, we give those materials to our crafters, and our crafters supply anyone from the demand need channel with gear they need. It's like that.
Very nice. So it's got a good structure to it then right now.
Yeah.
How many people did you say you had in the guild right now that are active? Like 7 to 10, was it?
10, around 10, let's say, that are active.
Okay. All right. Maybe let's touch on tactics and planning. So if someone asked you to go and possibly defend a place, like who ultimately is going to make the decision? Is there going to be just Tennies just say, yeah, let's talk about this? We have 2 hours to figure it out. Like with the pressures on, how would that be determined in your guild?
The thing is
Very good question.
Yeah. The thing is like about our guild and those war strategies, like we held like I think one or maybe two like dueling basically meetings. As for strategy, we really didn't like plan too much in a sense of fighting together. We yet have to explore those lands basically, because usually it goes like this. Fabrinum gets attacked, let's say. We rush to defend. We are like maybe 4 people in voice talking like what is everybody gonna do. But the thing is like we don't speak to other people, in voice. It's kind of hard to navigate around those areas with other people if we are not together. As for the exact tactics, like in my opinion, there should be like a formation that will be set like this. High builds, like high movement speed builds, like say, is it the dexterity or just general movement speed, doesn't really matter, should like only chase people that are like low HP. High strength but slow, healthy people should protect like the healers. The healers will just heal and stay the backline, and the fat mages who are suicidal, like my own character, just go in to cast an earthquake and goes back. Basically, that's in my opinion, the formation that we should use.
Okay. So it's just standard formation. If you want to touch on that, Rash, go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. So what I wanted to add to this is, so the way that it is right now, seeing as we are very few, we're still like 10-ish people online right now on a regular basis, we've been meaning to do some training. So we as a guild want to plan these events that, again, like generally start organically, so it's kind of tricky, but we want to have enough members as well in order to make these events where we have 2 groups that do a variety of things based on what the scenario we're trying to practice is. So these are like somewhat planned encounters where we'll, for example, have either an ambush set up where one group is moving from one place to another, and then the other group is tasked at ambushing that group. So in-house kind of training to see how it is, like how can you resist an ambush properly? How can you effectively execute an ambush? And so on. And then the more we get to do these practice runs on different like open field or jungle attacks, then we'll have a better idea of how we feel like playing in the play style of our fighting, and how our play styles can complement the play style of other members. And the more practice we get and the more feel we have for each other's characters, the better that we'll be able to work together. And also we'll have better ideas on how to split each other into separate groups so that we can more efficiently use our skills within the fields. So that's where we're at right now. We still haven't done any big practice runs or anything like that, of course, due to mostly our numbers being so low, because it's something that we do want to start working on. And that's our biggest hurdle right now. It's getting the amount of people to do these practice runs in a good way, rather than just like randomly, right?
Mm-hmm. So say if there was half your group on, and there was a guild that came to you and said, "Can you guys come over here and help us?" And there was only 5 of you on, or 3 of everybody on. How would you vote on that? And how would you determine that? And like I said, if you had like 20 minutes, half an hour to answer these people, how would the answer go?
The answer will probably go in favor of who is asking against who. Like if there are usually this kind of decision doesn't need a lot of people to think about it. It's usually instant. We know who is our enemy and who are our friends basically in the game. So if let's say acolytes asked us that, we would surely help them because they helped us in the past and we defended Faberun together. And that's how we look at things usually.
All right, yeah. So maybe some of the acolyte guys go to the dark side then, and you guys would still, you're not going to paint the whole guild obviously with the same brush just because a few people went to the dark side. You'd still go and help them, type of thing.
Yeah, if we didn't know that they went to the dark side, that's a whole other thing. Like
That's also part of the idea of not forming an alliance just yet. We don't want to, like, we're ready to have association with many guilds, right? We're friendly with guilds and all that, but joining in actual alliance is more than just this idea of like, yeah, let's be friends and hold hands. It's there's a bit of a like almost this fictitious paperwork involved, right? There's like this idea of like you are signing yourself as part of these ally, like what we have in the real world as like the UN and NATO and such, right? Like we don't want to sign our name off to like have this on like concretized alliance, right? But being friendly and helping each other out, and like the more a guild starts to tarnish their own name, perhaps we will, over time disassociate ourselves with them, not go help them, and so on. Like we'll be, it's going to be questionable whether or not we do want to keep helping these people. So we don't feel like there's any obligation in that sense, right? And then the consequences are far less as well.
Yeah. Well, you guys have already learned a very valuable lesson, because the consequences in this game follow you around for years, right? Bad decisions in this game will haunt you for a long time because people hold that kind of grudge, right? And I want to touch back on where you said, Rash, that you wanted to talk about the diplomacy part, which is absolutely massive in this game at certain points. Being how to like using diplomacy correctly in this game is crucial, and that's like when you guys are answering those are good answers, and those are pretty precise answers for where you stand on things.
If I were to main anything on my character, it would be diplomacy.
Yeah. Good man. Sign of intelligence. I like it. Because you know what diplomacy does, right? Oh god, that's good. So in the game now, we're just going to touch on what your aspirations are, kind of for where you want to be housed. Are you looking to put up a keep, or are you just going to sort of do housing, kind of like a city with no walls, that kind of thing? If you guys want to touch on that, go ahead.
The thing is, like we talked before about housing system, like all of us, if I'm not correct, just tell me, Rashnai, but I think all of us like agreed we want to live in a house, one house, and we had one key.
Well, that might be a little difficult when you get up to 50, 60 members, though. So that
maybe. But the thing is, we talked about it, we really like the system of housing. So if they implement it, we are not sure yet where we'll go, but we'll surely have or try out those kind of things in the future.
So do you guys actually have a spot on the map that you want to play?
We don't really know actually, because we used to talk like Faberun is our home, but now we're not so sure if it is because of the constant stuff happening there. But we'll see. We eventually will get to a decision when all of us agree, and we'll know for sure.
Yeah, I can only speak subjectively. I can't really
Yeah.
speak on behalf of the guild right now because, like Fire said, we
No,
haven't made that decision as of yet.
no, but like I said, if you get to 50 members, you know, not everybody's going to want to live in one house, and the next
Yeah.
thing you know, like what because when you start to build like collectively, you have to kind of build it in the same spot. So if there is a problem, like you can have 10 guys log on right away and defend or help or do whatever immediately, right? Like you don't want one guy living at Meduli and 10 living over at Fab and another 5 down in the jungle, that kind of thing.
So,
That's what I'm trying to get at, kind of.
so if we were to speak on like a progression sense,
Yes.
I think that yeah, I don't know, housing is definitely going to be yet to be seen kind of thing because I don't think any of us really know that system. We haven't really
Mhm.
delved into it either on like the MO1 mechanics and such. So it really does depend on how the system will go with housing, how it's going to be in terms of an investment. So like
Mhm.
I think that there's going to be a daily rate of a certain amount of gold that you have to pay or something like that. I'm not sure what the maintenance is going to be for like the keep and such, right?
There are
So
taxes, yes.
so all this is yet to be seen. Eventually, I'm assuming that just like most guilds, we would aspire to have a guild keep. That location is completely unknown because, as it
Mm.
is right now, we're somewhat nomadic. We like to
Yes.
move from one place to another. We're not really settled, and that might also progress with the idea of us having, at the eventual house each, whoever wants to have a house, right?
Yeah.
So it's we don't have any restrictions on like, yeah, you can't have a house on, or whatever. No,
Mhm.
everybody has that one house, which is comical, right? Like it's a nice idea. It's just cute in a sense, right? But we'll see how that goes.
All right. Yeah. That's like I said, if you ever had 100 members, like you're gonna need housing. You're gonna need lots of it, and you want uh, because the mechanics before, like in MO1, when you had a keep, you would put all your buildings inside of it. Like you'd have your banks inside of it, you'd have your stables, and it would be secure locations, right? So
Mhm.
then all your materials and that would be in there. You'd have your butchers, whatever books you needed to buy for alchemy, all those vendors would be in there, and usually that helps a guild progress rapidly
Mhm.
if they don't have to run all over the map to get everything right, and you have it all in your keep. Not saying everybody has that, but a lot of bigger guilds, when they start going, they expand, and that's what they do, is they make sure everything is there so they can one-stop shop kind of thing.
On a personal level, like what I've
Yes.
been doing lately is I love the jungle. I feel
Yes.
like I pretty much live in there. I've been mapping it in my head.
Yeah.
Like in one round, like I found some rotations because like I really love picking up the flowers,
Yeah.
and I get like several thousands of the blue flowers and the blue mushroom
Yes.
in very
Moon
little
sponge.
time because I've found like so many different patches, and like I said, I've been mapping the jungle in
Yeah.
my head. So that's something that I've been considering putting into my skills into Photoshop, so I could start painting maps for even
Maps.
for myself or like sharing with people. And
Maybe.
huh?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was thinking like there's quite a few spots, I must admit, that if I were to have a house, it'd definitely be there, kind of thing. But like, of course, we have no idea if it's going to stay that way, if there are going to be more violent or aggressive mobs. There's still a lot to be seen with the progression
Yeah.
of the world, which is fantastic as it is.
Yeah.
I find the MO2 world phenomenal.
Yeah. It's absolutely beautiful, and maybe flower picking and stuff would be part of the cartography aspect of the game when they put it in. You might be able to do farming maps for people, that kind of thing. And also, you're saying about a house down there. Yeah, like a lot of people would want to have a house down there. If they're farming on the beach, the crocs and all those things that are a little harder to get, and you can just run it to your house, and then or a house, a guild house, obviously, and then just keep going. So that question kind of or answer kind of leads me into the next question for you. So the PVE aspect of the game, how much and what do you think you guys will be doing? Are you going to be, basic farmers or dungeon people?
I think a little bit of both, because we do organize events for farming and dungeons. We probably prefer dungeons, I think, in a lot of people's opinion from the guild, because they are interested in it and every content about dungeons. But we do farming also a lot.
I
You
think
want to
it's
touch on
related
that?
to the idea of so at the beginning of the interview, it was mentioned that the guild isn't really like focused on anything hardcore in terms of we're not we are enjoying the game and discovering it and so on, so we're not really trying to specialize our guild into a specific type of um, character. Like, for example, I think was it mana or mage, that there are
Mana.
only mages, for example,
Yep,
right? So
mana.
mana is and I could tell that mana has really hardcore gamers, and they seem
Yeah.
to love the game, which is beautiful. Like, you can hear it in their voice.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the guy that says he's a dirty min maxer, I think he was saying, or something like that. That made me chuckle so hard. But yeah, like the idea of min maxing and all that, it can be part of the experience in cold blood if you want to do that
Yes.
yourself, right? But as a guild as a whole, we like this concept of variety, and
Yeah.
being capable of doing whatever activity that we would want to do. So if we want to have a bunch of gear crafted for our members, we will, through our versatility, we'll be able to manage a lot of that ourselves. But of course, if we end up specializing, then that's going to make us look for the assistance of other guilds or groups of people in order to meet our ambitions. So it's like I said, we're learning about the game through experience, and
Yeah.
we really want to delve into all these different aspects of the game that it
Well,
has to offer.
there's going to be so much in the next 4 or 5 months being patched into this game. It's going to be so good. And from what I understand, they're really talking hardcore about the AI, so the PvE side of the game should explode this time a little bit more than it did the last time, I hope anyways.
Yeah, in my opinion, like, I'm really excited to get new content, like new dungeons, new mobs, new magic schools, because I'm a mage, I guess.
Yeah, I think that in the net we don't know, because the roadmap isn't great for the game. Henrik does answer questions, but they need to sort out the roadmap, like get that more transparent. They could just put out a weekly blurb, even to help people understand what's going on. Like, if you put something on the roadmap and there's zero detail in it, and it's just big chunks of things on there, and there's zero detail, it's really hard for people to kind of talk
Yeah,
about it and learn it.
yeah, but from their side, I think it's hard to determine, like, what content can be done in whatever time it's needed, because there aren't many people working on it, right?
Yeah, I think they're doing a fabulous job anyways. So that actually leads me into the next question about the state of the game, and what you guys think of it right now.
Uh, do you want to go first, Rush, or?
Yeah, okay. So I've worked in the industry before, and
Oh,
I know that having such a small team like they do with such an
yes.
ambitious project is a huge undertaking. And I find that they're doing a phenomenal job. They're doing really good. Again, considering the size of the team
Yes.
and the amount of people that are interested in their project, it's a huge burden for them. Like, not just in terms of the amount of work that they have to put out, but psychologically, right? Like, it's sometimes
Yeah.
that, like, you don't even realize it creeping up to you, and it just hits you one day when you're working on the project, and you're like, oh man, there's all this pressure on me right now from all these people, right? And
Yeah.
it's no longer a normal day going to work doing assets for a video game anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty intense what they're doing, considering all of these circumstances, is incredible. So it just requires a lot of patience, and I know that this is not the popular opinion, but if the game can take 2 years before it releases, I'd be very happy.
No,
Take your
I'm on
time
board.
in a sense, right?
Rash, that is nail right there. You nailed it, because there's so much pressure on these guys to pump stuff out, and then it come out and it's crap. And and then everybody's complaining about the stuff they put out. Oh, they put it out too fast. Like the guys can never win, right?
Yeah,
And I'm totally on board. Take your time.
That basically happened with Cyberpunk, I remember. Like, it was the same situation.
Yeah, big time. You can go ahead, Pyro, and touch on that bit of the game too, if you want.
Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit to balance in game mechanics, I guess, too.
Yes.
So basically, yeah, for the like Rashna said, for the amount of work done, especially in the last patch, like what it took like 2 weeks to get past the last patch. It's like extremely well done for the amounts of people doing it. Like, it's really good and polished. Like, a lot of things are better. Like, a lot of things are fixed, and there's nothing more to say about that kind of thing. But as for the balance and game mechanics, yeah, we already talked about the guards, like how they work and the AI system in general. As for the other stuff, is like maybe when you let's say you get a horse, and that horse is level 70. It shouldn't be possible to like 2-tap that horse. Like, it usually happens with some builds, some bow builds. They can 2-tap a horse.
Yes.
I think they should introduce like horse armor in the game, so you have more risk, but you're well protected.
Yeah, and that'll definitely come in the game because that was in the game before.
Yeah.
Horse armor, so that'll 100% that'll come in. It was like Jade armor.
Also,
you can vendor buy it.
It's too early to say, but from the perspective of melees, let's say spears are kind of easy to block in a way that people know where they're blocked, because on the side it's kind of useless to do it. Swords are okay, yeah, they're maybe a little in some cases better, but it's okay in general. Axes are kind of slow. They hit hard, but they are kind of slow. So maybe it's it needs a bit of tweaking. As for the hammers, I really don't see much people use hammers. Like, am I the only one, or?
There are people that use them because when they swing through, they still cause damage, right? Even if you block them.
Yeah, I think the knockdown doesn't work. That's why they don't use them much, right?
No. Yeah, that's like skills in general. Some of the skills that we're missing, like they need to come in. They need to, I guess, kind of get that in the game.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that will come in once they bring MC and horse archery and MAs in. I think.
As for the archers, like, it's a good thing they fixed the longbow horse. God damn it, that was like annoying. But still, there's one thing that's sticking me about that kind of stuff. Like, archers, when they're on horse and they get the book for the archery, they can still do the same damage with the same attack speed on the horse. Yes, correct? Is it correct?
I'm unsure. I don't even use. I have an archer, but he's a foot archer, so
I think it's like that. But for example, mages, when they mount a horse, they not only cannot steer the horse, they cannot cast it as fast as before, and I find that really underwhelming, because archers can do a much better job on horses than mages, which makes no sense. You need, if a mage needs double time in casting, so should the archer in drawing a bow. That's like makes no sense for me, at least.
Yeah, they may do that as well, because it becomes like when an archer's pulling the bow, like he doesn't have any hands on the reins, so it's more of a balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing. I get that.
Look at it in this direction. Like, imagine an archer is riding a horse. He has an advantage of steering, or speeding up, and an advantage of doing the same damage, while a mage needs double time to cast, and he cannot steer or go faster or slower.
Yeah, that is a pain. I've used the mages on the horse a lot, and I've always cursed that problem, but never really thought of how to fix it, or if it is fixable as well.
And the thing about mages also, it's only one magic skill, so I can't really say anything, that's basically a valid opinion. But the thing is, at the moment, it's just talking at the moment. Like, unless you're a fat tanky mage, you cannot win ever anyone melee in 1v1 because of the interruption, not because of the damage or the charging in place, just because of the interruption. Like, a build that has a high attack speed will always win against any mage.
Yeah, we talked about the longbows can't be used. I think it's just the other bows now, asymmetric, or is that what they're called?
Yeah.
That's the only ones that can be used now. Yeah. Let's just. I want to go back just to recruitment. I don't really have. Is there a specific type of character that you guys are looking for right now in the guild, or does it matter? Like, are you taking old school players or new players? Is there any?
Everyone who wants to join, is a cool guy, chill guy, or girl can join, because it doesn't really matter who it is, as long as people are having fun, we're doing things together, and that's basically it.
That's exactly right. It's
Yeah.
it's not so much about what type of character build you're doing, but rather what is your character like in terms of your person, right? Are you a nice person that wants to socialize with us and figure out the game as we all want to? Like we're just trying to have fun together and explore. So if anyone is interested in joining Cold Blood or a guild in general that is mostly focused on exploring the game and helping each other reach what it is that we're trying to achieve in the game, then this is it, right? Like it's definitely the purpose behind it.
Yeah, you guys sound like you're pretty cool guys that are just hanging out and wanting to learn the game and progress slowly, so you learn it well. Take your time, get the right guys in your guild to grow, right?
I might even start thinking about it in a sense that if like we start getting a lot of new members, you could also somewhat see it as a diving board, I guess you could say. Some, how now I don't know if this is actually a thing or not, but I would assume that in MMOs similar to this one, you would have these guilds that are more socially focused, and then if you reach a certain point where the guild is no longer fulfilling these ambitions and you're becoming a much more hardcore gamer in that game, and you have the quote unquote prerequisites, let's say, to join another more hardcore guild,
Yes.
then that would be a choice you can take in a sense, right? Like, sure, it would be sad to lose that person, but I'm sure that if the friendships they built while in Cold Blood are strong, then those friendships won't just vanish out of thin air when they're under a different banner, right? Like the friendships persist.
Oh, they do for years after. Pyro, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Basically, all the things they said, like that anybody is welcome. Either people who are hardcore gamers, or role players, or casual guys, or guys who have some bit of time from the work to play a bit. Yeah, nothing else.
Okay, so let's I'll do a quick recap of what we discussed here today for you guys, and then you guys can do your closing statements basically and talk about your guild as soon as I'm done here, and then you can just say whatever you want to the chat and for the video when it goes up and it's posted, and when you're talking to actual people that are looking through the library. So Cold Blood is basically new to MO2. Your voting system is kind of like the pirate voting system at the start until you start building bigger membership. You have about 7 to 10 players that are active at all times. Your cities that you've been around farming so far has been like Faberton, Tindrum, and MK. You're going to do some casual rating of, I guess, PvE kind of thing. You have no solid alliances as of yet, but your ethos is to like help defend cities.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of the griefer thing we went over. We'll just pass by that, and then the crafting you have set up in your Discord. You have different channels in there for everything. Your tactics are the standard formation of fighting, basically that 90% of the guilds use. So you use your heavy guys up front. Your Vilas or whatever in the second row, and so on back to the mages. You would like to start doing more training events to help the guys in the guild get better at their skills.
Yep.
Comes to building, You guys are planning on having housing, and then later on, once you get your membership up, probably a guild keep of some sort in some area where it was undetermined. PVE, you will be doing a bit of dungeons and a variety of probably open world stuff by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Recruiting, you're into kind of the old or the new. It doesn't matter as long as they're willing to like be chill and not cause a lot of problems for you.
Yeah, that's right.
So the state of the game we touched on. So you're generally pretty happy with it so far. Balance
Yeah.
needs to be worked on the guards. You're looking forward to horse armor coming in to try to help that balance. And then we talked a little bit about the weapons and the hammers that you didn't see a lot of people using. So you guys can sort of just talk about your guild real briefly here. We have a couple minutes left, and then we're going to take some questions from the chat. So chat, when you go to do your questions, just put a Q in front of it or a question in bracket if you have anything, and we'll start sorting through them. So go ahead and chat and get those ready. So Pyro, if you want to go ahead and just say a few things about your guild and whatever you want to
Uh,
emphasize on.
I'll say again, like the usual things I will say for the guild, for anyone who missed it. Basically, even though we are called ColdBlood, it's ironic, but we are a blue guild. Wow, a surprise, I guess. But we are, like Brad said, we are recruiting any kind of people as long as they're a normal human being, you know. They're not toxic, they're cool, they're chill, they want to play with us, they're social. Doesn't really matter how often they play or what they want to do in game, as long as they don't be an asshole, guys. That's basically it. Sorry for my language.
Let's go. It's fine. Rash, you want to go ahead and add into that, please?
That pretty much covers it. I mean, yeah, that's right. Just come over. Let's have some fun in the game. And I myself have run into a bug, so I won't be able to see you guys in game right away. But yeah, it's just play the game with us and figure it out. Like see how it feels to be hanging out, and if you like us, then stay.
Yeah. We got people talking, saying that you guys sound like a good bunch of guys. So good luck on your journey. Best wishes from the Norsemen and smaller group from MK. So you must
Thank
have
you, guys.
you must have
Nice.
run into
Thanks a
them
lot.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had anything else up there? We didn't have any questions. How is your alchemist situation right now? And that comes from Greater Thief 10. Thank you very much for the question. I appreciate that.
Roshna, yeah, your time to shine.
Uh, well, how can I put this? I've done a lot of experiments. I could say that, but because I haven't been able to get into the game, unfortunately, I have that as a stop. So, the way that alchemy is progressing in the guild so far is based on again, like experimentation, just trying out different concentration of mats. And without going into too much detail, everything is being recorded in Excel spreadsheets, and there are different spreadsheets for the different types of experiments being conducted. So I'm really taking a scientific approach to this. And constantly going back to reference my past material to make sure that I improve on it constantly.
Yeah. Oh, alchemy is probably, I would think, the most difficult thing in the game right now. To figure out all the patterns. Here we go. There's another question. Are you looking for any help with alchemy? And that's Greater Thief again. Thanks, Minute.
I am. Yeah. Any if as long as I am able to build a relationship with someone else that's willing to work with me, then yeah, I'd love that. I would love to share some of my findings as well, based on like of course I may come off as cryptic, but every time I give out some information, there's always like some kind of relationship with what I've previously given you or how you're asking your question. For example, if you're looking to get a certain result out of something, then I'll try my best to give you the tips and push you in the right direction.
Yeah. I mentioned it to them already. Great Thief, about excuse me, about the Chosen Alchemy guys. We call them the Mad Scientists. So I'm gonna put you guys in touch with those guys because you're gonna be blown away with what they're doing. And Rash, you're gonna fit right in. I'm telling you right now because
Excellent.
we're the same. We do the science part of the game. Like I do game mechanics a lot and farming dungeons. Like that's my thing, and alchemy. So we're all on the same page, and we're probably gonna get you guys in touch with those guys. They're gonna love to have you. I'm telling you right now.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, I want to thank Cold Blood for coming out this morning and being with us here. I know it's 11 a.m. or Eastern, so it's not always easy to get people out, but we have to try to accommodate our European friends as well, right? So
Don't
thanks
worry,
very much, guys.
it's a good time here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stop the interview there, guys. And chat, nailed it.